Most people think that strategy, convertible bond, and preferred stockholders are playing the same game as common stockholders. The truth is that they are playing entirely different games. So let's unpack why. Now, the first thing we need to understand is that different investors are optimizing for different outcomes based on their volatility, risk, and return goals. So, in order to attract more capital, strategy creates different products with different risk return profiles that are deliberately engineered to appeal to different sets of investors. Now, let's look at strategy's capital stack. So, the capital stack essentially shows the order of priority of claims on a company's assets. So, in other words, who gets paid in what order in a liquidation event. Now, at the top of strategy's capital stack, we have convertible bonds. So, convertible bonds offer investors minimum risk since they are first to be paid out in a liquidation event, but limited relative returns since the upside is capped. Next, we've got the preferred stock products, starting with Strife. So Strife offers investors low relative risk since it has a target Bitcoin rating of 10. Remember, Bitcoin rating is a measure of how collateralized the product is. And investors are second to be paid out in a liquidation event, but low relative return since it pays a fixed 10% dividends at par value. Then we've got Stretch. Stretch also offers investors low relative risk since it also has a target Bitcoin rating of 10, and investors are third to be paid out in a liquidation event, but low relative returns since it also pays a fixed 10% dividends at par value. Then we've got Strike. So Strike offers investors moderate relative risk since it has a Bitcoin rating of 5, and investors are fourth to be paid out in a liquidation event, but high relative potential returns since it pays a fixed 8% dividends at par value and can also be converted into common stock at $1,000. And lastly, we have Stride. So Stride offers investors high relative risk since it has a Bitcoin rating of 2 to 3, and investors are fifth to be paid out in a liquidation event, but moderate relative returns since it pays a fixed 11.75% dividends at par value. Now, after the preferred stock product, we have common stock. Now, strategy common stock offers investors maximum risk since they are last to be paid out in a liquidation event, but it also offers maximum potential returns since there is no upside cap. So what's happening here? Why have I taken the time to outline each layer of the capital stack? The reason is to essentially demonstrate, as you can see in this graphic that I've pieced together, that both the excess risk and the excess returns that are stripped away from convertible bond and preferred stockholders is being absorbed by common stockholders. Now remember, Strategy's business model is to essentially capture the spread between the cost of capital and Bitcoin's annual return rate. So if Bitcoin goes up, common stockholders capture the upside. If Bitcoin goes down, common stockholders bear the downside. As a consequence, convertible bond and preferred stockholders get decreased risk and returns in exchange for certainty, while common stockholders get increased risk and returns in exchange for volatility. And that is why they are playing entirely different games. Convertible bond and preferred stockholders are playing the game of defense. Common stockholders are playing the game of offense. So in summary, different investors are optimizing for different outcomes based on their volatility, risk, and return goals. Each product that Strategy offers is deliberately engineered to provide a specific risk return profile. The excess risk and return that is stripped away from convertible bond and preferred stockholders is absorbed by common stockholders. That means that common stock comes with both maximum risk and maximum potential returns. So hopefully that all made sense. Hopefully after watching this, you understand exactly why convertible bond and preferred stockholders are engaged in a fundamentally different game to common stockholders. As always, if you want to get hold of the graphic that I've used, you can find it on my X account by scrolling to the highlights tab. And as always, until next time, remember the best is yet to come.